Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 241. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez. Oh, we're going to do that again. And tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
And Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
All right, guys. It is July 3rd, hence no one's here with us tonight. It's just the New York crew, man. The real crew, you know? Even Adam, man, he ain't New York no more, man. He lost that privilege. But as we always say, the show must go on. It kind of caught us a little bit off track because this is like a 3-day week, essentially. Kind of like Thanksgiving week and stuff. It's usually 3 weeks, so this one just kind of caught us a little off guard. So not a lot to talk about this week, man. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, man. What up with that? Everybody acting like there's some sort of vacation happening.
Yeah. By the way, man, you have an interesting story. You're still like on your way home 4 hours later.
Yeah, I actually got out early today because, as you know, I've been working in the city for the last few days, and they let us out early today for the thing. I left a little later. I left maybe about 5, and I got onto my 6 o'clock. Try to get a 6 o'clock bus home, and literally at 6. Like I got on the 6:25, and it literally took me till 9:25 to get back, all the way back. The traffic at the Holland Tunnel in the city was horrible. It took us like an hour to get across the city.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah. Hey, there's Brett. Awesome.
Yo.
All right, he'll say something in a bit.
Long trip.
It's like, yo, man, you trying to get home to your family.
It's like planes, trains, and automobiles over here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right. Black Metal Game. What's going on, Brad? You there, man?
Yeah.
There you are. How you doing, man?
Fucking busy. I won't be able to stay for a little bit tonight. I'm actually probably not going to be, here through the 9th. So probably until the 11th, maybe longer. I'm moving, remember?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's gonna be big. Don't worry about it. We'll probably keep it short anyway. Not a lot. Brett, surprise, nothing happened during this 3-day week.
Yeah.
Shocking. All right, so we'll see what we can get out of this. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Remedy has gained the rights to Alan Wake. If you guys remember, Alan Wake was a Xbox exclusive ever since it came out. Even though originally it was going to be elsewhere, wasn't it, Manny?
Yeah, it was actually going to be it was going to be multi-platform.
Yeah.
But Microsoft came in like really close and be like, all right, close this down, exclusive.
Yeah. Well, now it's multi-plat, and the reactions were kind of typical. Over on the Twitters, like the PlayStation guys were happy. The Xbox guys were mad.
So I mean, it'll be pretty cool. I mean, maybe it means that they're gonna eventually release a nice little remastered version of it to come out on PS4. Who knows?
Yeah. And apparently the Alan Wake games are at 70% discount on Steam during the summer sale. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, actually, it's funny because I actually do have it on Steam right now.
Yeah, so do I. I own Alan Wake on Steam and on Xbox, but I haven't gotten around to playing it. Chris, you played Alan Wake, didn't you?
No, Kristen's a huge fan. I watched her play Alan Wake. She loves those games.
We both kind of watched her play it. I remember she used to play it in the living room.
Right. And she was sad because Microsoft's just been sitting on that shit. There's no they could have done an HD remaster or put out like a full collection because it had 2 DLCs. I know there was American Nightmare and another one. Yeah, so they could have put out like a collection for it. They never did. Remedy, the only thing they had Remedy do was like Quantum Break, right?
Quantum Break, and now they're going to do Control. That's the next game that's coming.
That's the next one.
Yeah, but Control's not like a Microsoft exclusive.
No, that is not.
No,
You're
that's
right
a
about that.
multi thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my question as you bring that up, Chris. You think we'll eventually see Quantum Break become multi-plat?
Ooh, that depends. That depends how much Microsoft money was involved in that. Because they made the TV thing. Remember they hired the actors?
Yeah.
The guy from Lost and the other dude. So Microsoft probably paid a good amount of money for that. I don't know if Remedy would be able to buy the rights
I mean,
that.
there would have to be some sort of royalty thing with that.
Yeah, so that's still a possibility, but I don't know. It seems less likely. But with Alan Wake now, they could do whatever they want with it. That could go multi-plat now. That
But
could get
Yep.
yeah,
a
put
sequel.
it on Switch. You know?
Put on everything.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, absolutely. Put on
I mean,
Switch,
it's
PS4, sure.
it is like a last gen game. So I mean, Switch should be able to run it okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know. Yo,
I don't
oh
know, man.
shit, Adam.
Some of these Resident Evil games don't look so nice on that
Uh-oh.
shit. Oh, sorry, man. I had a bad migraine when I got home from work. I went to sleep and I just woke up now. So
Damn.
my head was killing me, man.
That sucks. So, Adam, what do you think about you know, if you're up to it, what do you think about you know, Remedy and Alan Wake?
I was surprised. I was seriously surprised when I heard this shit because I mean, I'm sure you guys talked about it. It's Microsoft's over here buying all these studios, getting all these IPs. How do you let something like that go? I was surprised that they let it go the way they did, and unless they really felt, you know what? Now I think about it, maybe it was just out of good faith because they're like, we're not doing anything with it. Oh, you want to do something with it? Go ahead. We don't give a shit. But yeah, I think they'll probably port it to everything. At least try to port it to everything.
Yeah. And then what do you think about the possibility of a sequel?
I don't know. I mean, they tried with that. Was it the American Nightmare or whatever it was, which was sort of its own little story. It wasn't really DLC. It was separate, and that didn't sell well. People weren't interested. So unless they have some new ideas for it, then. But it was okay. I mean, did you play it?
No. I here's the thing. I own it. I own it on Steam and I own it on Xbox, but I never played it.
You run around with your flashlight. It was it was filmed like it was a TV show. It was like previously on Alan Wake.
Yeah,
and doing that whole thing. At first, maybe the first hour or two, you're like, "Wow, this is great." After a while, you're just running from point A to point B, just want to get the shit over with.
Damn.
At least that's the way I felt. And I found some of the pages, and I was sort of into the story, but the story wasn't that engaging for me, and I was upset because I like all those type of games. I like those Telltales. I like the newest one, the what's it called, the strange one, Life is Strange. Yeah, I like those episodes. So, I mean, obviously, Alan Wake's before all of that, but it just didn't grab me.
Yeah, because wasn't the whole thing about Alan Wake that it was like a video, a Stephen King novel, like in video game form or something?
Yeah, he was an author.
Yeah, he's an author, and all kinds of strange things are happening, and he's up in a cabin out in the woods, and it's that type of thing, suspense, and there's like a guy out that he thinks is out to get him, and when he flashes a light, he's running. It's in the shadows, and the music, and it's supposed to pull you in. It's supposed to be one of those type of stories, but for some reason, it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't click, but who knows? I have a feeling that's another reason why Microsoft decided not to keep it. They're like, well, it didn't really do that well when we had it. So even if we make another one, does it have the audience for it?
And I mean, this also opens the door for Remedy to make maybe a sequel to it if they want to.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of people, like, even with this announcement of Control coming out, they were all like, "When's the Alan Wake 2 coming?" You know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, people were asking them.
Yeah, I feel like people always want something, but it might be a smaller audience. I mean, look at my situation with Skate 4. Yeah, I could preach and scream up to the towers, and there's a lot of people, but it's not enough, obviously, or else they would do it. Yeah. So it could be one of those situations. Just not enough people screaming.
Yeah.
Not enough. More like not enough people buying.
Speak with your wallet, suckers.
Damn.
That's all it is, man. Like, see the thing, like, obviously, people on the internet, it sounds really loud when people on the internet are screaming about these things, but it really has to do with the general audience out there saying, "Hey, we really want the," going out there and putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Firefly situation with that show. Everybody was preaching, "Oh yeah, I can't wait," and then you see petitions, and it was like only a few thousand. Like, what? I thought it was like 10s or 20s. Nope.
Well, at Firefly, it was because of that one. What happened was, like, there was such a big, such the internet sort of made that movie happen, right? But nobody went to see it because you realize, like, as much as the hardcore Firefly fans there are out there, they're not really enough to kind of.
That was the thing. They weren't enough.
They weren't enough. Yeah,
they weren't enough, and I think that's the situation. Because I mean, think about it. Microsoft's not dumb. They have their analysts. They have their marketing guys, and they probably sat them in rooms like, what are we gonna do with this? Should we let it go? Should we keep it? And I was like, let it go. So
Yeah.
It's interesting. Brett, what's your take on Alan Wake? Did you ever play the original?
I did, and I don't appreciate what you guys are saying about Firefly.
Uh-oh. Well, we like Firefly.
We like
Hey,
Firefly.
listen. There's a big,
But nobody cares about that show.
That's the thing. I love that series.
That's actually it picked up a lot of its steam even after the movie came out. The movie was like a lowball. The movie was okay. I love Firefly, but the movie wasn't great, especially for Firefly fans. Man, that shit was just like a lowball.
Well, it shouldn't have even gotten to that point. The show should have never been canceled.
No, it shouldn't have. But it was aired all out of order. Like lots of things. Anyway, back to Alan Wake.
Yeah.
I was Alan Wake. It just didn't hit me, and it sounds like it should because I want my criticism is it was a combination of like high tension and like really monotonous ambiance. That sounds like the kind of thing I like, but it wasn't. It either felt boring or like I was immediately about to die, and there was not really much in between. And I didn't care for like I liked the Stephen King stuff, and I liked the X-Files shows, and I liked the everything that it was trying to do. But in practice, it just didn't work.
Yeah, you think they could excuse my pun here? You think they could remedy that with a sequel?
They probably could.
I don't know.
Damn, you think the whole formula is just broken then?
No,
I don't get the idea of trying to make a game. Okay, so the idea of I'm going to make a game and I'm going to make it like a TV show. Well, TV shows are done the way that they are. They're built by their limitation. They're framed by their context. A lot of things are. If you get a mini series, it's going to be a little bit different than an ongoing 30-minute series. If you get something built for HBO, it's not going to be structured around commercials. So I don't understand why you want to take those same limitations and put them into video games. A media that has its own limitations that don't mesh well with those limitations. You're not going to make a video game feel like TV. They've tried it over and over and over again. It's not going to work.
I think the one reason to think about the way they were trying to do this is that I think they were not really thinking of it as somebody just kind of jetting through every single portion of the game. Like, in other words, essentially the moment that you have the section end, that you stop and then you come back to it later, as opposed to just kind of playing through. But again, as far as gamers go, they'll probably just keep playing all the way through.
Yeah, but Manny, what about people that binge watch an entire season? Like, isn't that the same thing?
It's the same sort of thing. So I think that's what probably was happening with this. It was just like people weren't stopping; they're just kind of constantly going through, rather than just kind of, stopping at the end of one chapter and then just going.
It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, like, I see what you're saying about, like, a TV season doesn't translate well to games, but I think the feel of it could. Like, to me, one of the reasons I love Mass Effect 2 is because it felt like a awesome season of a sci-fi series. Like,
yeah, but it wasn't trying to feel like TV.
Exactly. It felt like it, but in a video gamey way, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't trying to emulate it. So I think, like, it's like if you try to emulate it exactly, it doesn't work like Alan Wake. But if you try to get the feel of it, like, and this is what I mean by it, like, Mass Effect had a central story, right, that ran through the entire quote unquote season, but within that you had smaller episodes featuring characters, so you could kind of get that feel. But I think when you try to mimic it like Alan Wake does, it doesn't translate too well. At least that's what I'm getting from what you're telling me. Like, I guess they try to be too close to a TV, and it just didn't work.
It just didn't work. I mean, it didn't pull it off like Until Dawn. Man,
Yeah.
Until Dawn. That was badass. I can't wait for the other one to come.
Yeah, I think maybe they just need to redo it, because I don't think there's a problem with, like, trying to capture the feel of a TV series in a game.
I do, though. Like, I know that Mass Effect made you feel that way, but it wasn't intended to make you.
No,
feel
it
that
wasn't.
way.
Yeah.
It was reminiscent. So name me one game that was intended to be reminiscent of TV that actually worked.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tony,
yeah,
Tony, you can
yeah.
actually kind of answer this question, because
Until Dawn. Until Dawn, dude.
Well, Until Dawn, you also played Quantum Break.
Yeah,
right,
Quantum
Tony?
Break, that's another Remedy game.
Yeah.
That was interesting because, like, every like chapter was like a episode, and then you had actual TV episodes
Yeah.
interspersed. I thought that worked pretty well. And then, but Brett, to answer your question, I guess the closest I could say is probably like Telltale games and Life is Strange. Like you get one episode, even though they're like 2 hours and stuff. That kind of has a.
Just because a game is episodic doesn't mean it's emulating TV.
But TV is episodic though.
It is, but there are other things that TV does that when the games try and emulate, like that's what I was saying about Alan Wake. Is it's not just that it was episodic; it was trying to emulate a novel or a TV show. It's trying to capture that feeling by a one-to-one, like a direct thing. It's not saying like, okay,
Yeah,
what
I
makes
see
you
what you're
feel like
saying.
a good Stephen King book does, and then I'm going to try and do those things to make you feel that same way. It said, how does a Stephen King book feel? How does a 90s X-Files ripoff TV show feel? And we're going to directly translate that into a video game without it's like saying, okay, I like bacon and American cheese on my hamburgers. So can you put bacon and American cheese in my ramen? Like
Yeah.
it's a different thing. You can't I realize you can be like warm and kind of savory and kind of like sure cheesy or whatever, like probably can't put cheesy in ramen, but like warm and savory and kind of meaty and porky and beefy. Like you can get those same notes and like give me a ramen that kind of reminds me of a cheese. Like you can give me a reminiscent of a cheeseburger ramen. I'm sure if metaphors going off the tracks, but
No, I know what you're saying, man.
You can't just throw all that shit in a ramen pot and say like, see, it's the same thing. Because if you make an actual cheeseburger ramen, everyone's gonna like say this is fucking terrible. And I think that's what happened with Alan Wake.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
I
trying
agree.
too hard to do the thing. It wasn't trying to be reminiscent of. It was trying to be like.
Yeah, see that, and I think that you just hit it on the head right there. You need to be reminiscent of, but not exactly like, because it's a different medium. The shit is not going to work exactly the same. And like you said, Matt, yeah, take some ramen, you throw some bacon in there. Bacon's great, ramen's great. The shit ain't going to be good, you know. So I completely agree with that. But who knows? Maybe, but I still think they can do it. You just got to do it within the constraints of a video game.
I think definitely with them owning the franchise now could definitely turn into something interesting. What if the next evolution of Alan Wake is something like a Life is Strange, where it has you get those little snippets of it, and then it eventually works itself into like a full on game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because even though I thought with the other game, oh my god, Quantum Break, I'm forgetting the name of the fucking game already. But the way I did that, admittedly, like I'm speaking objectively now, it was clunky. I just personally found it interesting, but I could see why that's not appealing, because again, they try to just be exactly like a TV show, and that doesn't exactly jive well with a video game. You gotta play to the medium strengths. It's interesting.
Remember those car chains, the car chases?
Yeah, I remember them.
Break. That shit was crazy.
Yeah,
they went all out on this.
Yeah, no, they put a lot of money into that. It was interesting, but I don't think a lot of gamers want that shit. Like you play for like 2 hours and then you stop to watch a 20-minute episode and then go back to the game. Then you stop to watch another 20-minute episode.
I know when it first launched, it had some hiccups when it came to the video, because the video wasn't downloaded to your hard drive, so it was streaming, and then there was like buffering issues and then some other stuff going on. But when I eventually got it, it gave me a prompt. It was like, would you like to download the videos or stream
that's
it?
what I got.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm downloading it. I don't want to deal with like buffering or whatever if there was some other server issues that were having.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. Anything else about Alan Wake? I think we pretty much covered that. All right. Next up, Epic Game Store will cover refunds of Shenmue III. For you guys who don't know, basically, you could have bought Shenmue 3 off of Steam, right? Obviously, it's an Epic Store exclusive. And didn't they say, like, oh, we're not going to give you refunds at all? People got fucking pissed,
This was Wisenet, and this was for whoever's publishing the Shenmue 3. Originally, what they said would happen was that they're not going to give any sort of refunds, and they weren't going to do this stuff. And they also did this. They made this decision, but and didn't tell the backers beforehand.
Yeah.
Like what happened with Bloodstained, where they actually told you, okay, we're not going to be, because they ended Vita game production. They said, okay, we're not going to be making the Vita version, and they decided, hey, well, we'll give you a discount. We'll give you, if that was the one that you really wanted, then we'll give you a refund, or you can choose any one of the other, SKUs.
Yeah.
So Now what they did was they recently came out with this information or saying, okay, we will give you a refund if you don't want it, or you can wait a year for the Steam version to come out, because it is still coming out on Steam. It's just they just have the 1 year exclusive on that thing, or you can get your money back, or you can switch over to any one of the switch over to the PS4 version.
Interesting.
Stuff like that. So at least now but again, they should have come up with this compromise beforehand, as opposed to just dropping it on everybody and just not saying, just saying, okay, now you got to deal with it. Because the funny thing is that even to not long before this whole thing happened, right? They were still saying it was going to be a Steam game,
Yeah.
So yeah, so now at least it's a better situation. Okay, like now you can get a refund, or now you can get it. But they said also, there's a caveat though. If you've like for higher tier things, like let's say you were a backer that did one of the higher tier things, and you have, specific content that's connected to you, they will not be refunding that portion of it because it's something that's embedded, that's already inside of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, let's say, I don't remember what the thing was, but like, let's say it was like, one of those bigger backer things where like your name supposedly appears inside of the game, or you have I don't know if they gave away characters or anything like that, but some stuff like that. Stuff like those things are not going to be refunded.
Man.
But it's something that's already been put into the game. So it's like they're going to give you money back essentially for the refunding you for the game or whatever those higher tier sorts of things. But certain things you won't.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be honest, I think they should have really did this beforehand, before it reached outside of, just all of a sudden, dropping it on everybody. As soon as everybody else found out, all the backers found out. It should have been that. Just like the way Bloodstain did it, where they're like, okay, hey backers, it really sucks, but Sony's ending Vita game production around the time that we're going to be putting this out. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fucked up the way they did it. They at least the attitude I got from it was like, oh well, hashtag deal with it,
Yeah, I don't think they really didn't think that sort of thing through, or how it would affect it. But again, I have to call Shenmue and Wisenet's communication with backers on Shenmue is pretty bad, lousy and spotty.
Uh-oh.
So like, in this point in time, like the game is about to be released, right?
Yeah.
For Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, we had 2 demos, by this, before the time that we are at this point. So in other words, we got to see what the games were. We even got to comment on like the style of the game. So, all these things that we're seeing, like, like backers had no say in it, as opposed to Bloodstained were like, okay, yeah, the art style didn't look so cool. We had some sort of say as to what that was.
Yeah.
Like they showed us like a bunch of different filters on the character and texture detail, and they're like, okay, so we have all these different things. Which one do you guys like?
Yeah, Shenmue's not doing that shit, is it?
No, Shenmue. What we get out of Shenmue is Yu Suzuki is going to be showing the game behind closed doors at so and so location. Yeah, I'd like to see how the fucking game is going. I paid for the damn thing. So it's a little it's like apples and oranges, but I'm going with it.
Yeah, because you're obviously backing both of them.
I'm really happy with the way Bloodstain was handled. I mean, granted, it was the release date was pushed back, but I'm okay with that sort of stuff. And I was okay with a lot of things because they were still communicating with us. Again, Shenmue just says, "Hey, Yu Suzuki is here."
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's it. That's all it is. It's just a promotional platform to tell you where Yu Suzuki is. Which, by the way, I did actually see Yu Suzuki.
Yo, man, where you see him?
I actually saw him like standing because they had this really cool billboard they were just showing a bunch of trailers at inside of E3, and I just saw him standing there watching his Shenmue trailer.
Yeah,
He's
you
like,
always
I'm
see.
so proud.
Yeah, you always like encounter him at E3 or see him.
The funny thing about Yu Suzuki, he's kind of like unassuming sort of guy. Like you look at him, he just looks like random old Japanese guy.
Random old
I mean,
Japanese
come on,
guy.
because I mean, dude, you like we the day when Shenmue was announced when we were at E3, like what was it, like 2015? Where was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I think so.
2015 or 2014? It like everybody passed them by. I'm like, guys, you realize you just passed Yu Suzuki, right?
Yeah,
I just shook his
Yeah.
hand,
Yeah,
and that's
remember?
when
Yeah.
Charles went, "Holy shit!" and he ran back.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead, man.
Well, going back to the whole Epic Store exclusivity and them taking that money, the thing is, like, do not brag about that you got more money from Epic than you did from the backers, or say things like you didn't even need the backers. And then when they say, "Well, I wanted this on Steam. This is a version I wanted. This is part of why I backed it. Now I want my money back." And you go, "No, we're not giving you money back." Well, how does that look? That's a really bad look for that whole for the whole game, the whole thing. I think if they were going to take Epic's money, that should have been put out day one. They were going to make that deal right to the backers and go, "Hey, look, we're making a deal with the Epic Store. We're going to do this, that." They didn't say shit. They just took the deal, cut Steam right out, and said, "This is what's happening." I think that's a bad look. And if that's going to keep happening, like fuck, don't kickstart games. Don't back games because
Yeah,
Epic can just come in and throw money at them.
yeah. In other words, they can essentially throw a monkey wrench into the whole process. Like, hey, we can do this stuff. I'm like, no, no, no. Again, if you're gonna do that stuff, you got to talk to us. You got to talk to the backers. I know, granted, I'm sure it took way more money to make that game than what was they were asking for. But and the way Kickstarter's thing works is that the only time you can ever get a refund for the thing is if the money hasn't been spent. That's a little caveat that they have on their thing. But to be honest, I do think that they, as the company, who making the game, they should still be responsible, for that sort of stuff. You know,
Yeah, at least communicate it.
yeah, at least communicate it. Because to be honest, it's like I'm, I'm not, I'm not really interested in the Steam version of the game, or the PC version of Shenmue. But at the same time, I do feel they should have told us beforehand. Hey, listen, we're looking into making a deal with Epic Game Store to make this game exclusive. But we've thought about you guys and whether if you want to continue to back this game, we're still we're going to give you a refund, or we'll give you a free a thing to move on to the PlayStation version, or you can wait until the Steam version comes out. They should have said all this shit right in that first thing instead of just saying us finding out before finding out at when they make the announcement. Hey guys, we decided to fuck around with this shit.
Hey, it's a surprise mechanic, man.
Yeah. Hey,
Surprise.
we got this surprise mechanic. He's like, I understand why a guy like you, Suzuki, wants to make a deal like this, especially if they're using the Unreal Engine, and Epic is willing to put some extra funding on the thing. I understand that, but give people notice before you do crazy shit like this.
Yeah, some crazy ass shit. Brett, what's your take? Mr. Brett, are you there? He's probably talking right now. Anyway, Adam, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's one of those situations where they weren't sure what they were going to do when they were taking that money. So then they have all these other deals coming afterwards, and they're like, shit, well, what can we do? We're trying to make more money. That's how it works. We're making new deals. Can't predict the future. So I'm sure when they were doing the Kickstarter and doing all the other stuff, they didn't know about these future plans and potential deals. So it sucks, but it's just how business works, right?
Yeah, but you have to conduct your business in an honest manner. Like if you are saying you're going to support A, B, and C platforms,
Mm-hmm.
then you make a monetary deal with one company to say, "Hey, but we don't want you on platform B at least for a year," and you go, "Okay," and you take the money. Then why the heck aren't you telling people like, "Hey, we know we promised this, whatever." They didn't didn't try to massage that message. They just said, we made a deal with Epic Store, Steam support. You're not gonna get it for 2 years or a year or
Yeah, or
whatever.
a year.
It was that check, man. That check
Yeah.
must have been huge.
Right.
No, it was huge.
They were like, "How much do we pay for you to forget Steam?"
They
I was like,
literally,
"Oh,
they literally gave them enough money that they didn't. They said they didn't even need the Kickstarter.
Man.
Yeah, and again,
That's how much money they got.
but again, at the same time, you gotta do this. It's like, we number one, you don't release information like that shit to people. You know, you tell them like, okay, hey, all you backer guys, by the way, Epic gave us more money for this. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. Don't fucking put that shit out there and say, hey, we almost didn't need you guys.
Yeah, that makes it worse. That's why people are like, okay, give me my money back.
Yeah,
You didn't need
so
it.
at the same time, it's like, yeah, again, give everybody who backed the damn game notice this. But again, Wisenet and all those guys have not been very communicative on this thing. Like, we barely see anything on there. That, like, again, Bloodstain is a good example. We constantly get like backer, like things like, well, in other words, we can vote on what designs we like. To have a little bit of a part of the process, as opposed to just like, okay, you gave Yu Suzuki a bunch of money, and that's it.
Yeah.
Part of the process of Kickstarter, is that sort of thing. In other words, you've made essentially we made the initial investment to try to make this thing happen. Granted, it's probably nothing compared to what Sony invested into it, and it's probably nothing compared to what Epic Games did in there. But we were the ones that said we wanted this shit.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it was. I think we talked about it before with these type of games with the Kickstarters. It's more of just to prove a point to other investors. See, people want this shit. It's not so much that they think they're going to get the money. It's just to see the buzz and the interest that people are willing to put their money before even. And that's it. That's all it is. It's just to show off. It's like, see. Because then we see something like this with the Mega Man one. What was it?
Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9. And all of a sudden, all this money came in from, was it Sony or somebody? Someone came in and gave it a shitload of money after the fact, and they're like, "Oh, I guess they didn't really."
It was actually Shenmue.
Oh, there was Shenmue. I knew there was one of
it was actually Shenmue that essentially, like, the Kickstarter was to essentially prove to Sony and say, okay, listen, if it makes this a certain amount of money, then since we now shows that there's an interest in this thing, okay, we're going to put in money too. And that's what people have been using the Kickstarters for.
That's not right.
Like, in other words, they're using it as like a testing ground to see what people have interest in.
Yeah, the whole thing with Kickstarter is like, ever since my experience with Mighty Number 9, I'm never doing that shit again. I got it for PS4, right? This was even before PS4 came out. They sent me a Steam code, never got my PS4 game, and they didn't tell you shit. And then, the other thing, we talked about this before, it's like, okay, let's say you back a game, right? What is to stop that game from being funded by a deep silver and then they fuck you over? It's crazy. So I'm like, okay, why should I fund the game when I could just wait for like a company to put it out instead,
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm coming from. Like, listen, I don't want to go through the whole process of the sausage being made. When the sausage is ready, I'll see if it's good to eat.
I think it in a way it's a good. It's a double-edged sword, because it's obviously showing these people that there is an interest and there's an audience. To be honest, this is Shenmue's the first, like, essentially formerly AAA game that actually got a sequel funded on Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's right.
No other. Truth be told, like, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is not a Castlevania game. It's,
No.
It's one of those spiritual successor sorts of ideas, like Mighty Number 9 was. So, I think they just use that sort of idea. We're like, okay, these, at least if it's at this point, these amount of people are gonna at least have already invested in it, and that's it. So I don't hate the Kickstarter process. I know I've even said this before. It is still a catch-22. There was a good chance that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night could have been the shittiest game ever made.
That's right. Yeah.
Thankfully, it was not. In fact, it actually it essentially went over people's expectations.
Yeah, but even with that one, I was like, I'll wait until it's actually finished. I'm not taking a chance. You know.
I mean, and the way I usually invest in these sorts of things, I really invest in the idea of the creator kind of doing the thing that they want to do, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So,
Speaking of that, Chris, didn't you put some money down for a console, like an all-in-one emulator console? Remember?
Oh,
Oh yeah, I did. I got that. I forgot what it's called. It's like like a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, it was
Maybe.
like, did it ever come out? Did you ever get it?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it
You keep
works.
secrets because you never told us about it. You were hyped for a while and then it just
It
disappeared.
looks like a little Genesis. It's painted silver though, so I guess they don't get sued. I think there was a Super Nintendo-esque case too, but I got the Genesis one. It takes a little bit of know-how to get it working. Like I had to download a flavor of Arch Linux and put it to
What?
customize it. So it took like your level of rooting
Oh, okay.
to work
All
right.
right.
So, but they didn't. They still came through because I dumped my ROMs on there, and besides the MAME ones, MAME is always a bitch to get working.
yeah.
Everything else worked. Even N64, not so much, but it worked. Super Nintendo, Genesis, everything worked. So I was happy.
Okay. Mhm.
By the way, a wild Carlos appears.
From MAME? It does MAME?
Yeah.
It does MAME, but it's really hard to configure it. Like I haven't gotten it working.
That's shit.
Yeah, MAME is the bitchiest one of
It's
all. Man.
always. I just want to play my WrestleFest.
Yeah.
Shit. Can I just play my WrestleFest in peace? Why is it so hard? Arcade One Up, make that damn arcade cabinet already.
it's funny.
Shit.
It's funny because like MAME is pretty much the same thing for years. Like how many who's updated that thing?
Shit.
I don't know.
It's just I know there's a bunch of emulators because I have RetroArch, and RetroArch has a bunch of emulators included in it. And shit, man, maybe like 5 or 6 emulators, and I still can't get WrestleFest to work.
Yeah.
None of those main ones work. I sucks. And they're like, yeah, some games you just, like some games you just can't do them. Shit.
Man, that shit is great. Yo, Carlos, how you doing, man?
Yo, man, I'm chilling. I'm eating a fucking double quarter pounder with cheese, and I just finished watching Spider-Man Homecoming. I mean, Far From Home.
I call it.
Spider-Man.
I call it Homecoming 2. You know.
Yeah, Homecoming 2, man.
I think I'm gonna watch that too.
Yeah. By
I
the way,
call it Spider-Man Homecoming 1 because it seems more like a actual Spider-Man movie.
oh.
Spider-Man.
Yo, man, off topic, it's good.
It made you happy?
It made me happy.
Okay, that's all that matters.
That's good. Man, actually, we'll go back because we got time to kill. Actually, we're doing a damn good job of doing the show in general. By the way, because we first started with like 3 guys, but now we feel that we got everybody here. Brian, he's going to be MIA for a while. He said he's moving too, Brett. I don't know if you knew that.
Wait, Brett's moving?
Yeah,
I don't
Brett's
even know if
moving.
you care, Brett.
Brett, you just moved into that.
No,
house.
he didn't move yet, man. He was getting ready for it. Now he's actually going to move.
No, Brett. You said Brett's moving too.
No. Brett. Well, Brett is going to move, but Brian is moving. Yeah.
Shows how much you care about your family, Adam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he said he's moving just a few towns over. He said he's not moving that far. He's still in the same area.
Yeah. All right. We can move on. Actually, Carlos, unless you got anything you want to say about Alan Wake, now being under Remedy, them getting the rights to it. You have anything you want to chime in on that about?
Yeah,
by the way, I should ask, did you play Alan Wake?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
That game was awesome. I'm surprised we haven't seen a freaking sequel.
Wow, okay. I'm glad you said that because the other guys who played it on the panel didn't like it so much.
Well,
There you go.
Oh,
So you played the DLC and then you played that Nightmare one, American Nightmare.
I don't know about the DLC, but I played I think I played the Nightmares. I need to check my achievements, but yeah, it was. The main game was awesome. It had like this what's called supernatural elements, and it was suspenseful, and yeah, I liked the game. It was really good, especially when it came out. It was like over 10 years ago now. So
yeah, it's been a while,
and it's kind of like we talked about it in Throwdown Your Questions. It's like a cult classic now because it didn't garner a sequel, so I guess it wasn't a huge success.
Well, remember they got pulled from Steam because of the soundtrack. They
Yeah.
had some audio shit, so I'm assuming they worked that all out for future ports.
Yeah. But so yeah, Adam, you didn't like it?
It didn't grab me. It was nice. It aesthetically it was amazing, but with the audio, but just the story just didn't pull me in. I just couldn't get into it, and I usually like those type of games, and I was excited to play it and get into it. And I think I did go and get into American Nightmare, the DLC, because I have it over. I gotta find it. I have the collector's edition that looked like a book, and you can open it, and that's where the game was. So it was like one of those. I was really into the whole thing of Alan Wake, and it just didn't grab me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Remedy's direction is, because they're releasing Control in a month, and we'll see how that works. If Control is a success, they'll be more like influenced to do more titles and stuff. So hopefully Alan Wake 2 is in the horizon.
You think they're just gonna port it? Like, I mean, where else could they port it? It's almost on everything. The only
Well,
thing
no,
I think of
Alan
is,
Wake
like,
2. Alan Wake 2 hasn't come out yet. So.
no, I mean Alan Wake. Just the fact that they have it now.
Oh
Carlos
yeah,
You know what I
wants it
mean?
on
Like, do
Switch,
you think?
man.
Yeah, you think they're gonna push it for the Switch these nuts and drop it on there?
yo man, Switch. I mean, Switch is gonna get every freaking port possible,
Mhm.
man. Because I mean, that's how they advertise that console. So,
But,
yeah, I don't know if they'll release a port or like a remaster or even like a kind of semi remake, but yeah, they should. Why not? Let everybody enjoy the game.
You know, and then what do you think about the Epic Game Store covering refunds for Shenmue 3? You know all that nonsense, right? Where
No, I don't.
Okay, so what happened is actually, Manny, you could break it down since you're actually in the middle of it. What was the drama that happened last week with Shenmue?
Well, yeah. Like, so last week we talked about where it was Shenmue was moving to Epic Game Store exclusive, but they didn't actually tell any of the backers what they were doing, and they also did not want to offer any. They didn't want to offer any refunds for those folks who wanted to get it on Steam, because all the way up to that point, nobody knew. Everybody was just assumed that the game was going to be on Steam, and even on their backer things, like, when they send you a backer email, it still said Steam on there until they made that announcement. And then what happened was that this was the first time anybody who backed the game even heard anything about this. And I used the comparison to a Bloodstained, where it was like they essentially let you know whatever was going on, when they weren't going to make the Vita version, all the other stuff too. They at least let everybody know so that they could at least, and then they offered the ability to refund people's money for those folks who didn't, weren't getting the one they wanted.
So a couple.
So now what they did recently is that they had, they released another bit of information, another email saying, we really apologize for all of this, and now what we're going to do is we're going to offer refunds. So those of you who have wanted the Steam version, but and as well, also the ability to move to the PlayStation 4 version if you like. Also, you have the option to wait for the Steam version, which would be out in a year. I don't think people are going to do that, but
Yeah.
I think they should have came up with that sort of compromise before, just instead of just making that announcement and saying, "Hey, Epic's, we're going to be exclusive."
Well, it seems like a couple of things. Number one, Epic Store strikes again, man. They're causing a fucking ruckus in this PC industry business, man. And two, it's like, what? They probably just didn't even know that they were going to do it exclusive to the Epic Store until
they
yeah.
they didn't find out until it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, Epic just came in and say, "Hey, you want us to give you a little bit of money?"
Mm-hmm. You want another bagger? It's like, but yeah, it's like it's kind of crazy because it's like there's two sides to it. The one side is, yeah, it makes sense. Like they didn't tell people where they were going to be able to get this game at, but seeing it from another side, and it's like, and Brian's gonna hate me for this, but he's not listening. So,
what are you talking about, Carlos?
Then again, it's like people are maybe justifiably so, but to me, it seems kind of non-trivial. I don't know if you know that's the right term.
I think
but
you mean trivial.
yeah, trivial. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can still play the game on a free application on the same machine that you're going to use to play the game where you're expecting to play the game at.
But that's also showing disrespect to the platform of Steam itself, because it's more than just it's just a launcher. You know, that's pretty much what they're saying. They're like, fuck it, who cares?
Like, yeah, that's why I can see both sides. It's like, one side of it, it's like there are those Steam loyalists, those Epic loyalists, those whatever. It's like those people who just want one consolidated platform to play other games, and they don't like the practices of the other companies. But then it's like you still get to play the game. You don't get to have to pay anything extra to play it. So,
Carlos, were you here when we got into that big argument about this same subject?
Yeah,
probably.
I think
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, because
I'm
I'm
probably
like,
watching Spider-Man: Homecoming.
oh no, yeah, maybe you were, you know, because that's my argument. I'm like, yo, just click on the other application and you're good to go. Like,
I think. I mean, yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember that the thing, and I understood the where you know a couple of the PC guys sort of saw
Brett
where
and Brian, let's just
Brett and
be
Brian.
honest.
So I'm sure that I understood what their side of it was. It was like, yeah, you know, they're kind of just swooping in and essentially making platform exclusives, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest gripe with the thing, again, it doesn't affect my version of the game because I'm just getting the PlayStation 4 version and that's it.
Yeah.
But it does it you know, for those folks that decided they wanted to get the Steam version, I feel like, again, they should have known beforehand before they started making these fun announcements like, hey, isn't this great? Like, no. Didn't we pay for this thing? You should be letting us know when this crazy shit is happening.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I understand. I'm like, yo, you got to let people know, son. Come on.
Exactly. When again, use Bloodstain. When Bloodstain hooked up with 505 Games, we knew about it beforehand. When they decided to, you know, again with the Vita stuff, they're not going to be doing Vita games anymore through Sony. We knew about that. We even knew about them hiring WayForward to assist them in developing the game. We knew all this stuff beforehand, before they actually made the announcements.
So there was nothing about Bloodstain that happened without you guys knowing, right?
No, there was nothing everything that they said happened. You know, when they were fixing up the games, they're like, yeah, we understand that you weren't very happy with the way this thing looked. We're going to work on that. Stuff like that. So we knew about I have to say it's probably the best example of a Kickstarter I've ever been on. And I've you know, backed a few things. I backed Mighty Number 9, and that was kind of weird and spotty. And I backed a couple of books and things. But I definitely think that Bloodstain's Kickstarter is probably the best example of what that is. In fact, it even probably trumps the Tim Schafer game where they remember. Yeah, was it?
I don't remember.
Whatever game, whatever their game, the game that they funded through there. And remember, there was they were doing all kinds of crazy shit that no backers didn't know about. Hey, look, we got Elijah Wood. We didn't know Elijah Wood was going to be in that shit. You know, they just made this funky. I mean, it's like, yeah, they're like, yeah, we want to, you know, create this sort of thing. But I mean, at the same time, these people paid for the game. They made an initial investment in it, so that means they should know about this stuff at least beforehand before you go, hey, everybody, you know.
Well, I have a prediction. We can make a bet. We cannot make a bet. It's kind of a subjective kind of prediction. At the end of the day, whether you are a Steam, PlayStation 4, Epic Game Store, or whatever, Play Store, whatever the hell that shit's called, or Switch, or wherever the hell Shenmue III is coming out, at the end of the day, everyone's going to get screwed when they play the game. That's my prediction.
It looked bad.
It's just one of those things with games that come out, like a sequel that comes out 20-ish years after the original two games came out, and it's like,
what other game series has ever done that?
I don't know.
I feel like this is probably the only one where it's like they decided to make a third. I mean, the game didn't even it did okay when it originally came out, but it never could justify itself because of the amount of money that it made. So that's why they stopped making them. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't think I've never heard of anything like that where where they totally resurrect a franchise. That's like them. That's like them canceling Final Fantasy back in 1980, 5, whenever the original Final Fantasy came out, and then coming out this year. Hey, we got a new Final Fantasy game. Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Oh, by the way, Glorious War, shout out for the bits, man. Always appreciate it. He said Bleeding Edge, the new Ninja Theory game. He says it's more like a rainbow. Oh, I'm not gonna read that shit. You crazy? I'm not. Fuck it. I'm not reading.
That's the multiplayer game.
Yeah, I'm not. He wanted to get me in trouble, man. All right. Moving on here. I threw this one in here for Manny. Because you said this is interesting. So, this month on PlayStation Plus, they were gonna have Pro Evolution Soccer, right? And they pulled it at the last minute to have it be Detroit instead. What is going on here?
Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that where they just all of a sudden just pull a game right before it's going to be a PlayStation Plus exclusive. Granted, I'm glad it's Detroit, because I wasn't going to play fucking Pro Evolution Soccer.
You're glad it's a good game.
I'm glad it's a cool game,
Some people saying that maybe it was something with the licensing and the contract with Konami, but
it might be the fact that maybe because there's also even though it doesn't have the FIFA license, there is quite a bit of licensed players in there. So maybe they didn't have maybe they're not. Maybe it has to do with some sort of rights and stuff like that. They didn't realize in the end when they made that deal. So yes. So they just said, all right, we got one. Boop, this one.
Yeah.
that's something.
But it's pretty interesting how they pretty much swapped like some game that's like on every platform for like a big exclusive, Sony exclusive, Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, again, I'm more happy. I'm happy with the change. Happier with the change.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, oh, I would much rather play that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you haven't played Detroit, do so, man. Don't let the critics sway you. The game's actually really good.
And it's the deluxe edition too, so it's a bigger, stronger, faster version, I guess.
Yeah, what does that mean, deluxe edition?
I don't know what it means.
It's big.
It's
It's bigger, man. I mean,
It's big.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. All I know is that it just said deluxe edition.
Yo, man,
whatever edition.
It's PlayStation 5 ready, man.
Does that mean it comes with a Detroit like menu or something like that? I don't know.
No.
Once you guys play the game, hit up our Discord and let us know who you think the race is of the main character.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh man. All right. And like I said, we don't really have a lot to talk about. But this one I have to, because this shit is hilarious, right? So earlier this week, I'm gonna get her name right here. This girl, I don't know what the fuck she is. Anyway, this chick came on Twitter selling her bath water to gamers. She called it Gamer Girl Bath Water, right? And everybody was like, "What the fuck is up with?" Her name is Belle Delphine, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just the idea of her selling her bath water was already crazy. Even though I'm like, "Yo, I can't knock the hustle," So tonight she came on Twitter to say she is sold out of the bath water. So she marketed it as like a gamer girl bath water for thirsty gamers. Yeah. Motherfuckers were thirsty,
Wait. So I don't. Is she pretty? Like, how did she come about?
Oh, she's very pretty.
Of selling bathwater.
I don't know how she came up with the idea. It was
Glorious War says snake oil, bro. I'm like, that's definitely not snake oil sales. She's telling you what you're getting.
She's telling
you what she's telling you.
She's not tricking you into thinking it's something else. It probably is bathwater. Maybe it isn't even bathwater.
Well, here's the thing.
It's got some hairs in it.
She's
brought up bathwater.
Because she put out a video of her making the bathwater. Like, there's a scene where, like, she's in the bath. She's like dipping it in there. One time she's spitting in there. One time she's putting it in her ass and stuff. But that's just for the video, right? The rest of it could be toilet water for all you know.
What's the size of the jar? It's like
it's little. It's like a little like bibaporu and shit. It's mad small.
How much was she selling it for?
$30.
A jar?
Yup, and motherfuckers bought it. They bought it and it's sold out. My thing is, I'm like, yo,
because them thirsty motherfuckers decided they needed to get
she's saying it's sold out. We don't really know. She could be bullshitting.
No, if you go to her shop, it says sold out.
No, I know, but it could be all bullshit. It's like,
If you think about it, yes, you're taking her on her.
Yeah, that's true.
You're taking her.
you could have just had
face.
5, 5 jars. It's like,
I got 5 on it. You know. Oh shit! I'm looking at her Patreon right now. Goddamn. Fuck.
Well, I would say this is like, again, she figured out how to get this stuff to work. I can't knock that. People are fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
What was it? There was a Kickstarter years ago. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like the guy wanted to make
salad.
Macaroni. Yeah, salad.
Yeah,
he had
I remember that.
Salad. Yeah,
and people
backed the fuck out of it.
He had like thousands of dollars, and just so he could make this fucking salad. Like shit.
And that tells me that this shit is probably legit. Because people are that crazy, man.
Well, I mean, because again, it's like, it just seems like people are just so gullible. I mean, obviously, I'm sure people funded that thing because of the, it's ironic. It's an ironic joke.
Yeah.
And to be honest, let's be honest with that guy's Kickstarter. He was actually quite good with it. He gave updates about the salad, what he was going to do with the salad, and he even filmed it. So he one upped the Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, he did.
And you know what? Maybe these guys are going to do that too. Whoever gets it, then they're going to do a video showing the water and.
Like, what are they gonna do? You're gonna jerk off to it or something?
No, test it. They could do all kinds of. If you're into science, you can test to see what's in the water.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not crazy enough, but I don't care how fine you are. And this girl's fine as hell. I'm not buying no bath water. That's crazy. I could make my own bath water. Out of here. I don't look as good as her, but hey, I can imagine. I can use my imagination. Fucking weird. Like, I'm sorry. This, I'm just gonna say it. When I first heard this, I thought it was some Japanese girl, but no. Because you see shit like that in Japan. They sell used panties and shit, No, it's some girl from England, apparently. Hey, like we said, we can't knock the hustle.
Can't knock the game, man.
I don't know.
She knew she had something that people wanted to see and have. So come, I don't blame her or say anything wrong with her. She got onto something and she took advantage of a bunch of stupid ass people.
And isn't that the American, even though she's English, isn't that the American way to exploit the stupid and make money off of them?
Yeah, exploit the stupid and make money. Yeah.
Oh man, I love capitalism.
I mean, it's like and she's not lying. She's not pulling one of those fucking infomercials where she's not, they're telling it's going to revolutionize your life and it's going to do all kinds of other crazy shit, right? Like those diet pills and stuff. No. It is what she says it is, and people fucking bought it
for $30 a pop, son.
Man.
Yo,
I'm watching this thing that they post on the Sun. She doesn't even fill up the jar; she just dips it in.
Yeah,
and
just dips it.
Mm-hmm. So you don't even get. She didn't even. She obviously also didn't even say how much she was gonna give. She'd just be like, "Boop," you get a little droplet.
That's true. I just want to know if there's going to be if this becomes like a market and shit, or you're going to have let me go on. So there's going to be a market for this, right? And you're going to have dudes making YouTube videos showing off their bathwater collection. This one's from such and such. This one's a such and such.
Oh, that'd be gross, man.
Yeah.
I see that shit.
That's almost like some weird Howard Hughes sort of shit,
Yeah. I collect all the bathwaters.
I definitely think this is a one-time only thing. That once she's already done this, I don't think it's gonna work ever again.
Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, why you stopping it? Keep it going, man. Make as much money as you can.
No, man. People buy all kinds of dirty underwear.
But you know what, Manny? I think I know where you're going to do. This is why she's a smart businesswoman. That's why she stopped it.
Make that shit limited. Make people want that thing even more. The one thing about a lot of stuff out there, it's like making something limited always makes people jump onto something even more, right? So
yeah, that's why Switch sold, right?
That's why Switch sold. That's why it's an artificial scarcity, right? Nintendo does it all the damn time. They say, "Oh yeah, we only made a certain amount of Wii's. Oh shit, I gotta get this."
Yeah, well, I mean, the Switch was obviously a joke. Even though they pulled it a little bit, they definitely did it with the minis, man. They pulled that shit hardcore with the minis. They
did it with the Wii, the original Wii. They created essentially created a artificial scarcity so the market to make people go out and run and get it. Notice now you can, now the minis are all filling. Now there's enough minis, right? You notice that those things are just sitting there in storage. You can buy a Nintendo Mini right fucking now.
Yeah, you may as
Same
well
for
invest.
Super
Yeah,
Nintendo one.
yeah, you may as well invest that money in bath water from girls.
Speaking of like scarcity, I heard that there's going to be a scarcity on the Sega Genesis one.
Oh, I could believe that. I already got my shit though, man.
I heard a rumor that might be that there might not be a lot of those.
Better get yours now then. All right, that's all our stories. So let's end it off with what we've been playing lately. Manny, have you gotten a chance to play anything lately?
No, not yet. I'm still at Bloodstained. I found out some stuff about the game where they did an update, especially on the PlayStation 4 version, and that some chests were open that had important items in them. I haven't run into that yet, but I haven't gotten to that part yet. So I played up to where I got into the castle and I got a bunch of things, but I never fought the first boss until after the patch. But I did notice that a bunch of chests that I had already opened, had stuff in them, were closed again and had stuff in them again. So we'll find out once I get to this one point if there's a chest that's open. So I'll figure out what happens. But I know some guy on the internet actually did run into that problem. But what they did was they just uninstalled the game, and without the patch, the saves still kind of cross over.
Oh,
so they
okay.
went in and they went to that area in the game and then just went to that chest that was open and it was closed, and then they could get the thing that they needed.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, but they just unhooked it. They unhooked it from the internet and just installed it that way, and then just went back in and got the thing they needed. Then reinstalled it and got the patch.
I just realized something. If the game had come out on Vita like originally, you would have been probably beaten that game already. Because
probably. But I'm gonna say this, man. Looking at the way that this game is currently in the state that it is currently on the Nintendo Switch.
Was it fucked up?
The Switch version of Bloodstained is that's where a lot of people are pissed off about. That game is not right. It's great for PlayStation 4, great for Xbox. Even lower. The other. The normal PlayStation 4 and the normal Xbox. It runs fine on those, but that Switch version, that one's got problems. It's got a shitload of latency issues. It's got load time, longer load times and all the rest. So it's
And the funny thing is, there were dudes that were just specifically waiting for that version, because
it's portable. Originally, there was not going to be a Switch version, but in the time that that they originally made, it was going to be a Vita version. So I'm sure all the people that had Vita, were going to do Vitas, decided, let's go with the Switch version.
Yeah. Oh man, but I guess you're right though. The Vita version really would have ran fucked up then.
Yeah, if they couldn't get that one to run, but then again, it was a different company developing. It was that company Armature. They usually do those sorts of ports and stuff.
Interesting.
But I don't know.
All right. For me, same thing. Bloodstained. Not as much as I did when it first came out, but I've been dipping my toe in there a little while. Game is fun, man. Good stuff. Everything I said before applies. All right, Chris, what about you?
Same. I've been playing Bloodstained. I think I just beat Alfred, the alchemist guy.
Yeah, Batman.
No, not Batman.
Yeah, Chris. That was the last boss I beat too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just and then I just got the ability to swim. Although she doesn't really swim, she propels herself in the water with the magic blast, whatever it is, the water blast, which is kind of annoying. I'm just make her swim or something. I hate that thing.
Man, it's just make her, just make her propel herself like a sub.
It's kind of silly, but I just got that ability, so I'm exploring the waterways.
Yes, that's a good ability, man. Just quickly, Brett, you having some problems over there, man? Oh, he's not answering. He's having some issues with the pizza, apparently. Because I was going to rope him in, Chris, because me, you, and Carlos were playing something, and Brett were playing something the other day, man.
That Monster Hunter, man.
Speaking of epic fails.
All right.
Shit, man.
Yo, so we try to beat Behemoth again. And again, he beat the fuck out of us, man. It's impossible. Like, I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to beat this guy. We tried everything, nothing worked. You know,
We're way above the hunter rank that's suggested for this.
right?
Maybe y'all are doing it all wrong.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, because like the trick is you're supposed to have one person draw aggro on him, so he gets him to like stop throwing these wind attacks frequently. The wind attacks are the thing that makes this thing so difficult, because when you're in an enclosed space with like 5 fucking tornadoes, you can't move, but he comes at you. You know, it's fucking difficult. Like without that wind shit, we would have beaten him. I know that for a fact. But the wind attacks are brutal. But like you have to be on top of it. You have to like throw the flash pots to get him out of it. You have to draw aggro, which is almost impossible. Like that, they needed to nerf that fucking thing. Like here's the thing, and Brett said this is like you can't put a Final Fantasy fight in a Monster Hunter game. You know, like you got to make it like a Monster Hunter fight. They didn't do that. You have to play like Final Fantasy 14. What if you don't play Final Fantasy 14? I never played that shit. I don't know how that works. You know.
Also, Monster Hunter has no magic. He has magic.
He has magic. Dude, okay. If he threw one spell at you, all right. He throws 4.
Yeah.
He throws 4 different magic types. Like, come on, man. Yeah. And you know how prevalent magic is in Monster Hunter? It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It is bullshit, man. We were playing. I got my ass kicked, and I was like low on health. So I'm like, okay, let me run towards the health booster that Tony threw. I think Tony threw it somewhere across the map, right? I run across the map. My stamina is fucking dying. My fucking character is about to pass out. And I get on the health booster, and I'm like, okay, I'm safe. I'm recovering my health. The motherfucking behemoth jumps across the fucking map to attack me and kills me.
Yep.
It's like, I knew you were going to die.
It's cheese, man. That's all I gotta say is cheese.
Yo, I got killed by his fucking tail, and he wasn't even aiming it at me. It just hit me from the side when he was attacking you guys. Like, yo, come on, man. What the fuck? And I was popping up, my drink and shit because I was all fucked up. He just swung his body. He was not attacking me, but I got fucking killed. And if you get killed in the middle of a fight, you might as well not even bother anymore because all the benefits you get from the meal completely gone.
Yeah, because you always get the best meal to start with.
Exactly, and like you can't even be like, oh yeah, just wait for you to get another meal. The fight doesn't last that long, for you to get another meal. You're fucking dead,
And you can't get the same meal twice.
Yeah, no, it's fucking So it's so frustrating because that's the only monster I have to kill in this game, man. Iceborne's coming. It's like, come on, man. I don't want to have that thing dangle over my head.
I haven't fought the end game stuff in that one.
Yeah, you kind of
Yeah, I kind of fell off after we fought the Zoro Magdaros.
Yes.
Oh,
damn, man. That's
crazy. I never did the shiny versions of.
So you didn't do Xeno'jiiva?
Which one was Xeno'jiiva?
The giant crystal dragon.
Yeah.
No, I did. Yeah, that's the one I finished. I did all that stuff. But there's more after that.
Yeah,
right?
there is. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. There's more grindy stuff. But
I think if you beat Xeno'jiiva, that.
That's the end enough. But yeah, it's fucking bullshit, man.
Xeno'jiiva was post-game content, right?
No, Xeno was it? Yeah, I know it was.
Xeno'jiiva was the final monster.
Yeah, I consider that the final monster. Yeah.
I thought it was Zoro Magdaros, but
Zoro Magdaros. Yeah,
Zoro Magdaros. You fight him twice.
Yeah.
But then they give you the kind of semi-ending after you kill him the second time.
Yeah, but I consider Xeno'jiiva the real.
But then the Xeno'jiiva thing happens, and then they're like, yeah.
I thought it was Nergigante.
Yo, Nergigante is a little bitch now compared to Behemoth, man.
Yeah. And I haven't fought that airplane thing.
Oh, bezel guys, fuck that thing, man.
I haven't fought the
bezel guys. I hate that thing.
Especially with the double bezel guys.
Forget
about it.
The funny thing is that I've seen bezel guys and I've had it, show up in another fight.
Oh yeah, it does that.
But I've never actually fought it. Like they never did a mission where I actually had to fight it.
Interesting. Yeah, fuck that thing, man. All right, Carlos, did I just cover the game you've been playing?
You forgot chess.
Oh yeah, chess, man. That shit don't count.
That ain't a video game. You're like, yes, it is.
Yeah. I think Brett's.
It ain't a video game. It's a sport.
It's a sport. I think Brett's still out for the count, so we'll go for Adam. Mr. Vale, I think he fell asleep.
Wait, what?
What games have you been playing lately, bro?
He's playing Miss Pac-Man right now.
Been playing the Contra Collection.
All right.
Oh,
Still playing that. Been playing the other Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection.
That's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah, been playing the Street Fighter 5. That they put that Capcom had this whole big sale on PSN. It's like $7. You get Street Fighter 5, and it was like $20.
Did it come with all the characters too?
The arcade one. This is a $20 one. The one just the regular one, which is 5, is $7.
Okay.
But with all the characters, that's the $20. But I already had $10 credit, so I only paid $10 for it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the ones I've been playing, and some Devil May Cry on Switch.
How is that run on Switch?
It runs fine. It runs fine.
I heard it runs like booty butt cheeks, but then again, that's Resident Evil that I heard.
The Resident Evils are the ones that aren't running so well on there. But no, Devil May Cry, it's fine. It's the first one, and it's got that static camera, which is still bothering me. I try to get used to it, but when you're in the mansion and you're trying to jump around, and it's just like trying to get that sweet spot, and there's so many times I'm shooting at the bad guys, I can't see them, but I know they're there. So
yeah, it's funny. Every single time I hear Devil May Cry, now I hear that song from the most recent one.
You mean the Devil Trigger? That
Devil
one, right?
Trigger. Yeah.
And
Not the other one. Right? The fears in your yeah. Remember that with the fears in your eyes.
It sounds like a fake Marilyn Manson song.
No, it sounded like who was it? Oh my God, I forget the name of that
Orgy?
group. No, not Orgy. Jesus, something 5,000.
Oh, Power Man.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
The fears in
World
your
Collide.
eyes. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
word.
Yeah.
Because it has that boom, boom, boom. Shit is crazy.
Or Static X too.
Yeah, Static
Kinda
X.
sounded like-
Yeah, good push it.
What I am gonna do right after this, though, is I want to read this last issue 193 of Walking Dead. This is it.
It just ended. It just ended.
It don't say. I know. I want to finish reading that.
It's funny what they did with that. It's funny what they did with that Walking Dead. Where like they put out a bunch of fake covers. So when because the way comics work is that before your book even is written, a lot of times they submit covers to what the next issue.
Aren't those just variants?
No, those are the real covers. See, the thing is that Previews Magazine, that which is where every single person, everybody who buys from Diamond, that book, Previews Magazine, shows you every single product that's going to be coming in the future, right? So what most comic stores and most stores that order from them use that as a way to gauge what's going to be next. Oh, wow, there's this really cool looking Spider-Man thing coming up. Or, oh, wow, there's all this other cool stuff. So they do it down there. But what Kirkman did was he gamed the system and he put out a bunch of fake covers and like a sort of semi synopsis as to the next issue to hide the fact of what's going to happen in the next one.
Crazy. All right, I think that's going to do it for us. So we want to wish our American viewers and listeners happy 4th of July, man. Hope you have a good time drinking, eating, and all that other good stuff, man.
We want to wish everyone at the rest of the world happy 4th of July also.
Yeah,
Also-
that's true, man.
Also, happy Canada Day, which was
on Monday, yeah.
Happy Canada Day to all our Canadian friends.
Yeah, I like Canada, man. They're America's hat. I like that. But yeah, also, we gotta say this. Don't blow yourselves up, please.
Yo, man, be careful out there, especially motherfuckers in Philly. I know how you get crazy with that shit.
Yeah. Yo, Chris, what's going on in your neighborhood, man? You were telling me some shit.
You would think it's 4th of July right now.
I got it out here too. I got fireworks outside.
No, but like Chris's thing is like a organized thing they're doing, right?
Yeah, it's literally like down the road near the town center. They're setting off a full display, like it's just going off. It's been going off for like the last hour.
It's like Disneyland. Every night there's a fireworks display.
Gotta recreate that battle, man.
Yeah. What about Carlos? What about in El Paso? Do you do the same thing over there, man?
Yeah, I mean, I since I got here late, when I was driving back home, there's people. There was like a party. Like a huge party. There's all these cars built up, like in some of my neighbors' yard and shit. They were just blowing up fireworks.
Yeah. By the way, you guys don't hear it. That shit's been going off in my background the entire time. But it's not official. It's just motherfuckers blowing shit up just cause, you know.
And the funny thing about it is it's all illegal.
It's all illegal, you know.
In most other states, you can go to a local little place and buy fireworks and stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to bring it back. The New York guys will understand this one. You know, back in like when I was a kid, you know, in the late '80s, you know, when I came to America, I used to just go to the bodega and just buy fireworks off of them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Or Chinatown, they would just sell the carts. Girls
They had
were
them,
selling
yeah, the
DVDs
carts.
and fireworks. I'm like, hey, what do you
I
want?
said you
Yeah.
buy them. What I would always do is like I would just like grab whatever change was in our couch and shit, and we just go buy fireworks. It was awesome.
Yeah, you could buy all that stuff like a little rocket or all that. And then they made it all. Then they made it all illegal, and then then everybody started going to New Jersey and Pennsylvania
Just
to
go
buy
to Pennsylvania
fireworks.
and buy fireworks, yeah.
Because I remember people were taking M80s and then putting them under the chain
Yup.
box over
Yup.
in payphones and blowing them up to get money. So that's when they were like, you know what, forget this. You guys are stupid. You know, they're reckless, throwing shit at each other, throwing those M80s and blockbusters at each other. People dying, losing fingers. That's what happens. There's too many people fucking New York. People get bored.
I feel like yeah. I mean, it's too many people. It's too many people close. Like in other words,
Yeah.
over in other states, you could at least throw it quite a ways from yourself, and you're good. In New York, it's like you could literally
hit
hit
somebody.
you could hit somebody on the other side of the block.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's how I split my fingers. And this is, man, I must have been, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. And it was on the FDR Drive. They would close it off so everybody can just go and do fireworks. So anyway, remember those tanks? They were called tanks where you just light up and they just like,
Jesus, yeah.
So I would take those apart and then I would make like little grenades, like light one and then throw it and see it pop in the air. So anyway, so I'm doing that and then I go to light one and went to throw it and sure enough, there's like 2 people walking. I'm like, oh shit. So I turn and then by the time it's too late, it just blew up in my hand and split my my pointer finger and my thumb. It just popped them open.
Shit.
Did you guys ever play Roman Candle Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you start shooting at me.
Yes, you know, actually,
That
yeah.
was fun.
Yeah. Man, Manny, I'm imagining a situation you're talking about, like you throw this shit and it'll be in your neighbor's fucking window and shit.
Yeah, like literally, it's not that far. I mean, Queens is a little bit more spread out, but like where fucking Adam used to live in like Brooklyn and in Manhattan, you'd hit somebody or you hit a building
That's
or
it.
you hit a car, you'd hit something. You know?
Yeah, no, that goes when I first started doing that. I was in Junction Boulevard, man, fucking just throwing them everywhere into the street. We didn't give a fuck, you know. It was hilarious.
Manny, just thinking about what like you just said, not giving a fuck. Remember that time when someone called the cops on us in the Bronx when we were we were stupid. Now that I think about, we're dressed up. You were dressed up like a ninja or something with a stick.
Yeah,
and I was doing.
We were filming something for our friend. Like he was like this mini thing, and we was just getting sequences. So we were like at 12 a.m. I don't know, late at night. We're in the Bronx, all dressed up like I want to say just the Warriors, because it's literally that's what we were like. All of us like dressed up. Some of us dressed like ninjas. Our boy Jamal dressed up like almost looks like an evil Joker.
Yeah, and somebody called the cops, and then the cops rolled up with the announcer like, "Hey, put the weapons down." What is like? Oh shit! What? We didn't even think about. But man, remember we were fighting or doing fake fight scenes in the lobby of a building, in the street, and in the lobby, and a woman came home. Think what she was thinking. Imagine you were coming home and you see people dressed up like that fighting in a lobby. You don't know it's fake. You're like,
Warriors come out today.
oh, man, we could have got killed. They could have killed.
The cops could have totally arrested us. They totally gave us a gimme. And I know that one of the guys was being an asshole, like trying to be like, and we're like, tell him, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
We were like, oh, you got
don't get arrested.
because the cops are like, you have permits? Like, no, we don't fucking permits. It's like 2:30 in the South Bronx. Nobody in the morning. Nobody get fucking permits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just throwing them shits, man. So yeah, man, practice safety and all that if you can, and also practice discretion if the shit is illegal where you live. Don't get caught. It's crazy, man. So that's gonna do it for us. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown. Hey, look at Brett showing up at the end of the fucking show, man.
I came to say goodbye.
Now fuck that. Hey, Brett, man. You do anything for 4th of July, man?
Dude, I'm just moving. I'm caught up in moving stuff.
You see, he is moving. I told you.
Yeah, I told you that too,
Yeah.
man. What
No,
the fuck?
you said no. Brian's moving. You said
Yeah,
he's
No,
not
you said Brett is also moving.
Yeah.
Where's he go? But you just moved to this house.
No, I moved to this house like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, man. So like,
No, he's moving to the new place.
Yo, man, he's upgrading. It's not. It's
Yeah, like I'm moving from rental to like I bought a house.
Motherfucker.
Yeah,
And
bitch.
they're like,
So now, Adam, now you have a place to crash when you get over there.
Yeah, we
yeah,
get
I have a
taxi.
guest room, yo.
Nice,
Brett, I hope you can extend the invitation to the rest of the Throwdown.
Yeah,
We're not picking favorites here.
Yeah.
No, many of y'all want to come out.
He said it's only Adam. Sorry.
Yeah. By the way,
I'm the closest one.
just to be fair, because Brett, we were all telling our just some random fireworks stories. You got any you want to regale us with? Like any fun ones from childhood or even currently?
Not a whole lot. My buddy Tommy blew himself up with fireworks, but that's about.
Oh shit!
We used to get in bottle rocket fights. Those were fun.
Oh, those were good too. You used to put the bottle rockets on the back of your bikes. And
Oh no, dude! I had a Red Ryder BB gun, so it was like I'd drop down, light the firework, drop it down the barrel of the Red Ryder, and then pop back up and just blast people.
See, now you're talking about two things that were illegal in New York City: BB guns and fireworks.
Yeah.
Right? That's a good time.
No
right
fun.
There.
Yeah, no fun.
That shit is real. Oh, also, Brett, we were telling everybody how we once again lost the fight to Behemoth, man.
No, but we made progress.
Progress being a relative term.
No, dude, we figured out. Like I figured out that the insect glaive is the best. I keep trying to be like, okay, need to distract him in the face. Like, and that final time I was like, nope. Because that final time we fought, okay, so for those like that weren't listening, like the final time that we fought him was, for me at least, was fucking hilarious because I would leap into the air, do the thing that you're not supposed to do with the insect glaive, which is stay constantly air, just bombarding his head, just like flying around and trying to change angles and stay constantly in the air. I felt like I was playing an Attack on Titan game. It was awesome. And then all of a sudden the red laser light would drop on me, and I'd drop down, sheath my weapon, and just book and be like, all right, guys, I'm taking a fucking lap. And literally, as I'm running big circles around the arena, the ground behind me is just fucking exploding with meteors and electricity. There's no wind coming, but just literally 2 steps behind me is constantly exploding. So I'm just booking it around the arena at full speed, praying these guys are hacking this thing down at least. So we found a way on our very last run to ensure consistent aggro. Unfortunately, that aggro is on an insect glaive user with no defense who has to just constantly book it around. And so these guys, so I was running, the Behemoth was chasing me, and these guys were chasing Behemoth trying to attack on it.
Yeah.
You could hear the Benny Hill theme song the entire time.
Yeah, that's right. Behemoth was chasing him. We were because remember we were like, "Yo, stay still, you fucking asshole!" And Brett's just like, "Ah!" Oh man, we'll get him, man. We'll get him. That fucking asshole.
Brett just reminded me. Season 3 of Attack on Titan. Probably one of the best seasons in anime, man.
I'm like 3 episodes behind the English version, so don't fuck anything up for you. Don't say anything about any kind of basement or anything like that.
Basement.
Oh,
Damn you!
There's way more than basement, man.
I will say this. And it's not a spoiler to anybody. Thunder spears.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yes.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So that's going to do it for us, man. So once again, our show was Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley,
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero,
Later, people.
Brett Murdoch,
It's been real.
and Adam Vale.
Yep. Have fun this weekend.
Yeah. All right. Again, people, don't blow yourselves up, man. We want to see you
There you
back
go.
on Sunday, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Deuces.
Peace.
Leaders.